A zine is a self-published book.
So zines are self-published magazines, and it can be either your own original content or it can be a more fan-based thing, such as like music or TV shows or celebrities. And it can be digital, it can be drawing, or it could just be mixed media. And traditionally they're made from really cheap materials and they're really easy to make.
So there are many different types of zines that can be created, such as a fanzine. So some people have done their favorite TV shows. This one's just all about music. This one is just some people's favorite artists, video games. Some people have done zines where they create all the illustrations themselves. So here's one where here's a lookbook zine where every illustration is hand drawn. Same with the cats. Some people get creative and they create their own original characters and make a zine about them. Some people just make their zines about hobbies, flower pressing. And this is a zine that was letterpressed and hand stitched. So here's another hand stitched zine. And here's some poetry zines. So there's a lot of different types of zines that you can make, and the possibilities are endless.
Most recent zines made by Miss T's Graphics 2 class. Here's a cool Iron Man one by Maya de Guzman about Iron Man and his family, and some Game of Thrones. Oftentimes, authors choose something that they're a fan of or something they know a lot about to share with the world.
This is an example of a zine in which a student has talked about her passion in music. It involves a lot of different types of media where she's included text as well as different illustrations, photographs, and pretty much anything she could think of. There's timelines too.
Alright, here's an example of an artistic zine in which a student has collaged a bunch of different things. So they've used pieces of magazines and words to create a story. What's your favorite thing about zines?
I can be creative about my zine.
Show us your zine.
For example, I made my zine about one of my favorite K-pop boy groups.
Whoa, is that what your shirt's about?
Yes.
Cool.
It is.
All right, Ellie, what's your favorite thing about zines?
They're really cute.
Oh, tell us about your zine.
It's sad
Why is it sad?
because it's called Other People's Heartbreak. It's about like sad songs.
What was your favorite thing about making a zine?
My favorite thing about making the zine was it was really fun to be limited to a smaller space, and I also had to incorporate all the text, and it was something different than what I've done before, which is mostly just images, not much with text.
Cool. All right. What about you?
My favorite thing about the zine was that you could just make it about whatever you want it to be, you know? There's no limits on what it had to be. Just whatever you want, you put on there.
Cool. What about you, Zach?
My favorite thing about making a zine was being able to incorporate all of the different styles and like ways you can graph out each sheet.
Great. Rhiannon, can you tell me a little bit about your zine?
Okay, so my zine is about Y2K fashion trends and all the different kinds of fashion trends that happened during the early 2000s. And one of the main goals was to make sure it's all precise and it looks nice and the layout is all consistent all the way through. And one of the struggles was that I had a bunch of clothes that were just all jumbled up everywhere, and I had to still make it consistent but also like keep the same variation and make it interesting.
Cool.
So yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the program InDesign that you've started using?
Okay, so InDesign I don't think is as bad as everyone says it is. It's a little scary and confusing, but it's very layout based, I guess you could say, and it's a little confusing, but once you figure it out, it's not that bad.
Cool.
tell that it was at me, but it wasn't at me, and it was at the other guy, and I got really concerned. And Miss T just got my whole story on video.
I'm really surprised on how good like lettering actually came out.
About what?
I was laughing at like every second.
I don't know if it's meant.
This is our Zine Library. It's in the back room of the Batavia Library. The zines change every semester with every different graphics 2 class.